Come on. You don't have to tiptoe. Come on in. It's okay. I'm awake. I'm here. Guys, it's so good to see you come back again. I've been seeing so many of you via your personal emails, your comments, your chats, connecting with you on whatnot. I'm running into you guys all over the place. And I got to tell you, I feel more like family than ever before. You guys threw so much support behind me when we lost Sadie, and you've gone above and beyond this past week for me. I've been a wreck. It's been difficult. I'm keeping busy. As one of you said, life is all about distractions. Moving on is all about distractions, and working through grief is all about distractions. So, if you saw the thumbnail, this is a whole different conglomeration of boxes than the last thumbnail. I have to get through all this stuff. So I got busy yesterday and I said, you know what? I know there's some food mixed in with this stuff that has expiration dates. So I had to get all that stuff pulled out. Believe it or not, it filled one massive box. And that's what we're going to do today. I still have 7 more boxes and a big Temu bag sitting here in my living room. And my front space, as you know, is not the biggest. It's even less big right now with all that stuff in it. So I have been keeping busy. I have been practicing the art of distraction. And I've also been practicing doing some things that make me happy. Wearing my hippie bucket hat and my shroom earrings is one of them. And I know some of you have spotted this, and no, this is not a spot. This is my tattoo, one of my tattoos peeking through. And in case you want to know what it is, it's an Indian arrowhead wrapped with a black rose. Um, Black roses are very unique, as you know. They do grow naturally. Believe it or not, they don't have to be colored to be black. And I like to think that I am very rare and unique. There's nobody else out there like me. And his mama would say, thank God the world couldn't take two of you. I love her for that. I take that as a compliment. So that's the black rose, and the arrowhead is for my Native American heritage on mom's side of the family. Mom's mother was part Cree Squaw. My great great grandmother was Cree Squaw, and Cree is in northeastern Canada, northern Maine, where mom is from. So that speaks to me and my heritage. So if you see that spot there, don't be freaking. It's not a spot. It actually is a tattoo. It just happens to be a very dark one. Okay? Can we get into this box? And then we'll do a little bit of what's going on just around the corner, because I had some requests. Some I was able to answer in the chat, in the comment section, but there's other requests that I'm going to answer in just around the corner. All right, let's get started. And if you see me lean, it's because this box is too big to be up here on the couch. And if I put it on the couch, I'd have no place to put all the product that I'm pulling out of here. Let me move this pillow. There we go. Okay. Cheerios! The veggie blend. I love these things. These are so healthy for you. It's like zero cholesterol, low sodium, low carbs, high 16 grams of whole grains per serving. 16 grams. I can have a cup and a half of these for the same amount that I can only have a half a cup of some other cereal. That's pretty good, because I'm all about filler foods and not feeling like I need to turn around and eat or not remembering that I ate. So 2 boxes of Cheerios. Oh, and by the way, this entire box came from SuperBuys at Whatnot. I do believe majority of them came from Germany's show. Some of them did come from Bree's show. Bree does her show early in the morning. So if you're an early person and you want to go to SuperBuys, I believe she starts at like 8:15 Central Standard Time because they're in Eastern Tennessee. So Bree is just as sweet and charming as Germany is. They are both amazing young ladies. And they, combined with the products that they offer, are the reason that I am such an avid fan of SuperBuys. I've seen some of you at SuperBuys, and I've seen some of you bidding on items that I didn't want, but I saw some of you bidding at SuperBuys. So I feel good about that because I know you're going to be happy with this. So these are not the family size boxes like I had gotten before. But each of these boxes were only $3. Twice that in the grocery store. I'll put the MSRP up on the screen, right? When I do my editing, don't worry, you'll see what I paid per box or per item and what the retail price is so that you can see how much I saved on everything. These do have expiration dates, but they don't expire until the end of August. I have cereal for breakfast pretty much every morning now, and every once in a while, if I don't have it for breakfast, for my midday meal, that's my breakfast, so to speak. If I don't have it for my midday meal, I'll take a couple of handfuls and eat it dry as a snack. Cheerios are good as a snack. I can't be the only person on earth that's ever had Cheerios as a snack. You've all done that, right? Yes? Okay. Let's get into the next thing. What is it? I'm just going to go. I have all the manifests here, and I have so many boxes that I actually had to label. I sorted things out into A box, B box, C box, D box, E box. I had an E box come in yesterday. Oh gosh, guys, I'm telling you, this is grocery shopping, house shopping, and getting some stuff for you guys, stuff for the lawn and garden. You've seen what I've gotten so far. I haven't had to shop at Walmart's or any place else now in weeks. So whatever I had for like my food budget and my YouTube budget, right now it's all combined. So I'm not spending outside my budget. I'm actually spending a little less than my budget because the deals I'm getting on this. All right, this next thing, and I'm just going down the manifest and pulling them out of the box. You've heard me talk about my brother, about Mark, and he passed in 2012. Mark passed away 3 months before Levi was born. And one of the things I'll never forget about Mark was, when we grew up, we were raised to be very protective over each other. Mom made sure that we knew the proper way to look out for each other and that family came first. That you helped your brother, you helped your sister, you supported each other, you encouraged each other. Well, Mark was very, very protective over me his entire life and right up until the night before he passed when we were spending some alone time together in his hospital room. But one of the things that I'll never forget about him is from the very time, gosh, I think the first time I was maybe 7 and he was 9 because he was just not quite 2 years older than me. We had gone someplace, I think it was roller skating, because we used to go as a family. We used to go roller skating every Sunday after church. That was our thing. So we were roller skating, and Mark ran into some of his classmates. And he said to them, they go like, "Who's she?" And he's like, "That's my sister." He didn't give my name. And the next time he introduced me to somebody, he goes, "This is my sister." He didn't give my name. Even as we got older, high school, after high school, as adults, Mom and I would drive into the Catskill Mountains to where Mark was working as a chef and where he lived. And he would introduce us to his bosses and whatnot. And he'd say, "This is my mom, this is my sister." He never gave out our names. When I got old enough, of course, he would say, "This is my sister." I'd shake my hand, put my hand out to shake it. I'd say, "Connie." He never, ever, ever introduced me as Connie. I was always sister. So when I saw this thing on SuperBuys, I had to have it. Everything is better in Sister's Kitchen. That's me. I'm sister. What can I say? This hit me for two reasons. Number one, I was looking for a cutting board because, as you remember in the last video, I showed you that I had taken an older cutting board and cut it and made a shelf out of it for that oddly shaped cabinet that I have in the kitchen. So I was down one cutting board. And when I saw this and it said sisters on it, I'm like, that's me. I'm his sister. I'm the sister. Nice little cutting board. Got the handle on it. Good size. I will probably use it on this side so I don't damage the writing on there. But I absolutely, it spoke to me. It just absolutely spoke to me. I lost my coffee cup. Oh, way behind me. Hey guys, yes. I know I'm rambling. It's what I do right now to get me where I need to be, okay? But let's go on to the next thing in here. This is a water bottle. Oh, did I tell you what I paid for Sisters? I'm sorry. I told you for the Cheerios, but I didn't tell you Sisters. I just heard somebody say, "What did you pay for that?" $5. That's it. $5. You can't get a nice solid wooden cutting board of any kind, let alone one that's printed, for $5 a stay. Even in Five Below, I have a Five Below here in town. And I went to the Five Below. They didn't have any cutting boards for $5. And the ones they did were like a third that size. They were like these little itty bitty, like sandwich size cutting boards. Forget it. So this is a water bottle. And let me look on my list here. This water bottle I won at the auction. Now remember when I say I paid, these are auctions that I'm winning. $3. And again, the MSRP is going to be up somewhere here on the screen. Somewhere. I don't know. Okay, nicely packed. This one is 18/8 steel, BPA free, leak proof, vacuum, double walled, vacuum insulated. Keeps beverages cold up to 24 hours and keeps your beverage hot up to 12 hours. Double walled, stainless steel, insulated. It's a Sendastar. Seriously. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Oh, I didn't open it. As you can see, I didn't open anything. I saved it all for you guys. I'm going to have to move a little faster if I don't want to have a 2-hour video here, because there's a lot in this box. I'll try not to be so chatty. Chatty helps me because I'm finding good memories in my life, things that bring me joy. All right. Love this. I'll show you the actual bottle. It comes with not one, but 2 plastic straws and a straw cleaner. And I'll just tuck it right down in that straw so that I don't lose it. Here's the top. It's a screw top. Nice solid little ring for carrying it. You can, hold on. This will lock. This is screw. So there's your drink. You turn it down, you screw it down. Can you see how it tightens the handle down on there? So if you need to take it apart to wash it, spill proof. I love that it has the grippies around it. Can you see all these little bumps? And this feels like rubber, these little grippies, but the top does not. The top is hard plastic or hard acrylic. And it is, again, it is a screw top. Nice, light teal. Tall, slender. There's another carry handle for it. This is another way to drink it. Yes, it has two lids. You can use this lid if you want, or you can switch it out and use this lid. Two straws, two different types of lids. And I like that this is a flip lid. So this is when you're not worried about it spilling, obviously, but it's not going to spill. This is really when it's not going to spill, depending on where you're going or what you're doing. So you have two choices of lids, steel wall, double lined, and I don't think, say how many ounces it is. 24 ounce. 24 ounces. Hello, hello. Here that goes. Nice color, beautifully done. They called this blue, but trust me, this is not blue. This is teal or aqua. So absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. The straws go all the way down inside. So you will, if you're drinking using a straw, you will possibly, your straw won't be long enough to go in here. I'm okay with that. I won't lose my straw. I drink this way. I don't need a straw. It has a straw. Yeah, got it. Love it. So, price for this again? $3. Sweet deal, right? Put this back in the box for now, just to protect it. Set her over here. Close that down so I can get this back in the box. Everything has been packed up so beautifully. Everything that comes from, so far, everything that comes from SuperBuys is returns. Amazon returns, that's what they do. All right, let's take a look at the peanut butter. Now, where are you? I have two different kinds of peanut butter here, so let me find the other one. Oh my goodness. Where are you? Hello? Okay. Another bottle of PB Fit. Same thing. This stuff does not expire because it's dehydrated. They do say it's best if used by 12 of 26. It may or may not be used by 12 or 26. I don't know. But everything is sealed, just as in the other jar I got. I paid $7 for this. That's a good deal. Again, the PB Fit I do not use for peanut butter sandwiches or peanut butter toast or peanut butter and celery or any other raw eating of peanut butter. I use this for baking peanut butter cookies, and this is what I also used to use for baking the peanut butter dog treats from my babies. So when it's time to have a new one, a new four-legger in the house, they'll be getting the PB Fit for their treats. So I'm not worried about it reaching expiration date. I can always In the wintertime, I can always make the stuff and just throw it in the freezer because it does freeze up beautifully. Now, let's look at the other jar of peanut butter. You still with me? Hope you're still with me because I don't know where I am. So you got to be here with me. All right. This got wrapped up in a Ziploc bag just in case. This is how well they wrap these things to make sure nothing leaks. In a bag, in foam to make sure that it doesn't crack or get damaged. Seriously, the amount of time and materials that SuperBuys spends in wrapping their stuff, it doesn't get any better. I'm not worried about the dented jar. This jar was dented when it was auctioned. Dent doesn't have anything to do with what's inside of it as long as there's no leakage or cracked, and there isn't. So I'm not worried about this. But this is Justin's classic peanut butter. We're going to taste this. Now, this particular peanut butter, where are you? Uh-oh, hold on. I lost Justin's. Justin, where are you? Where is, oh, here we go. $3 I paid for this jar. $3 for this massive jar. Let's get it open. I want to taste it. And yes, I'm going to use my finger. Okay, maybe I'm not. This needs to be stirred. It needs to be mixed. Yeah, I'm going to take a taste. That's good. That tastes like peanuts in the shell. You know that taste? Let your mouth taste that. It doesn't have all that crazy sweetness to it. It doesn't have a processed taste. It tastes like I just cracked a shell and grabbed a peanut. So it says, I'm not shouting. It's all in capital letters. It says, I'm not shouting. This is just how I talk when I'm on the side of this really big jar of my classic peanut butter spread. It's more than ever before. More tasty peanuts, more one-of-a-kind grind, more scooping, more spreading, more deliciousness, just more, more, more. And that's Justin. It's good. $3. Justin also makes one that's a honey flavor, but with me being allergic to bees, I have to stay away from anything that has honey in it. So this is the classic. Now I'm glad I got that. All right. Next on the list is a bag of reusable bags. 3 different sizes. And these are the washable, use again, reusable bags, which really are going to be very cost effective for me. So you've got, and these are Ziploc bags. You've got the orange ones with the zip seal. Oh, yep, I can, not only can I feel it, but I can hear it clicking closed. So you've got this size, and then you've got this size, and then you've got the big gallon size. So you've got 3 different sizes of bags. All washable, all reusable. And guys, I wash these in the dishwasher. I simply open them up, put them on the top rack, spread them across the tines. And the tines will keep them open. It'll get washed. And then I leave them in there to dry. I'll open the door of the dishwasher, pull the rack out some, and leave them over the tines this way and let them air dry before I put them away. Now, you could pull them out and wipe them down with a paper towel if you're in a rush to put them away or something. That's no biggie. But these are heavy duty. These are really good. And this entire pack of reusable bags was $4. $4. How many bags are in here? We have 3 3 of the big gallon bags. Hold on. Hold the phone, hold the phone. 1, 2, 3 of the big gallon bags. We have 4 of the gray ones and 3. So we have 10 bags. 3 of the biggest, 3 of the smallest, and 4 of the middle size. That should get you through anything, but for $4. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. All right, ready for the next item? Let's see what's the next item. Oh, I don't know if I can get these out of the bottom. Yeah, oh no, they're right here. Look at all these paper plates. 150 paper plates. And these are those thicker cardboard-like paper plates. Again, these are bagged in a bag. Pull it out. Oh my God. A bag in a bag in a bag in a bag. Okay. So you've actually got 2 packs, 2 big bundles of paper plates. The total on these are 150 of them. There's 75 in each bundle. The total on this was $7. $7. So my intent with these is either these, I'm not sure which, either these or other ones that I have coming in are going to go to my community. I'm never going to be able to use all these paper plates. So at the very least, I would save one and give one to my community, kind of like share the wealth. But let me show you. Gosh, even these bags are sealed. Goodness gracious. Because SuperBuys does get these quite often. Not necessarily in this big double pack that I won at the auction, but they do get them quite often. Now that I'm opening this and touching this, I'm going to have to keep these. These are the cardboard-like ones. They're not plastic. These are the ones that are like cardboard. Can you see? But it's a full dinner plate. And because of the way it's deeper, it has that well, because of the way it is, it's going to be sturdier. Okay. These are great if you have those paper plate holders, those little plastic things that you tuck a paper plate on. They won't tuck under the snaps on it, but it'll still be supported by it. Because if you do put anything too wet or soggy on here or too greasy, it will soak through. But for the price, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong. That's an amazing amount of product for $7. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Bear with me here. I gotta dig down into the box. I don't know if I can get this up. Let me get this one out first. Where is it? Have you ever had Annie's products? Annie, look for the purple box. Annie has things that are gluten-free, sugar-free, low in fat. Her white cheddar mac and cheese is top-notch. I absolutely love that. And when I do want to splurge on mac and cheese, that's one of the things that I'll have. But this is her cinnamon graham crackers. And these are new in box. The box is still sealed. It has not been opened. And it is nowhere near expiring. Annie's organic graham cracker, cinnamon made with whole grain. And by the way, Annie's is located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, just in case you were wondering if this is a U.S. product. It is. These are delicious. If you like graham crackers, if you want to make your own crust for like a chocolate cream pie or a coconut custard pie, something like that, you like the graham crust. Sometimes if I make like the little mini cheesecakes, I like to have a graham crust. And yes, you can just get a little round cracker and pop it down on the bottom, but I like the graham cracker on the bottom of this. So these are very good. And as crackers go, only 3 grams of fat for 2 full cracker sheets. So in other words, one of these is considered a sheet. So 2 of these, because these are perforated and you can break them into 4. 2 full sheets only has 3 grams of fat, no saturated fat, 0 cholesterol, fibers, sugars are low. Sugar is only a 9 gram of sugar. Healthy snacks, put peanut butter on them, put anything else you want to put on them, use them as crust. Annie's are great. And for the Annie's graham crackers, I only paid $4. $4. All right, let me see if I can get these out of here because it's next on the list. Oh my goodness. Anybody want a little booty? Pirate's booty. Baked puffs. White cheddar puffs. What's it say here? There's 2 different kinds in here. 2 different kinds of puffs. One is aged white cheddar and the other is cheddar blast. So they are cheddar puffs. And they're only 70 calories per bag. It's the perfect snack for somebody on a journey. All right. Have you ever had Pirate's Booties, these puffs? These are really, really good because these are white cheddar as opposed to the darker cheddar. White cheddar tends to have less fat, only 3 grams of fat. Again, no cholesterol. Sodium is low. Carbs are low. Wow. No added sugars. Pirate's Booty, 18 bags. And what did you pay for that, Connie, may I ask? $4. Seriously. They have these a lot, guys. So if you go to SuperBuys and you're looking for snacks, ask for them because they do get a lot. I was there yesterday and a couple of you were also there at the same time. They had like 3 or 4 of these boxes of Pirate Booty and they flew. The minute Germany presented them, that's it. They were going, people were bidding like crazy. I better put them over here because it's bigger. People were bidding like crazy on that stuff. That's cheat is good. And it makes for a good snack. And it's only, if you're on Weight Watchers, 1 bag is only 2 points. So it's a flavorful crunch that helps satisfy your need for that crunch. But I'm a cheese lover. So anything that I can find that has any kind of cheese in it is a good thing. All right. Giant 270 sandwich bags. Price these in your grocery store. Ziploc bags. Ziploc brand. Holy cow! I can't get anything out today, can I? My ponytail's too tight. Yes, I'm doing a side ponytail today. I thought it would be cute. I'm in my hippie vibe, as you can tell with my shrooms and my hippie hat. But I thought I'd do a side ponytail. How do you like that? Something different, right? Let me know. Give me your input. Because I know you all love to see me in my bucket hats. And a lot of you love to see my hair down. Yeah. Okay. Ziploc brand bags. I finally got it out. 270 sandwich bags. That's an enormous amount. Check, figure it out. You know what I paid? Yep, $4. $4. I was really surprised. Well, I got this on a snipe. Now, a snipe is when you want something on the auction and you're watching that price, you're watching the auction, you're watching the clock tick down because this was on like a 10-second auction. So you're watching it go down 3, 2, 1, and you're looking at the price that's literally right above the little timer. And I saw it sitting at $3. And the minute it hit 1, I swiped and I stole it. So that's a snipe. You're a sniper. You come in and you just pick that sucker off So this sucker came home with me for $4. Look at the MSRP on this. Is that not crazy? I won't need to buy Ziploc bags probably for the rest of my life. But I'm really, really happy with that one. Okay, let's get into something different. Where are you? Here we go. Kind granola bars. These are a protein. This is a dark chocolate chunk, this particular flavor. These are, I don't want to call them meal replacements, but when I'm eating very, very lightly, this will give me that extra filler. It'll give me that extra protein. It's got 2 grams of protein in here. Carbs are low. Cholesterol is 0. Sugar and fat are low. But this is basically, it's chewy with a little bit of crunch in it, as it says. And kind are not cheap. They're usually about $1.50 or $2 a bar. There's 5 bars in here, and I paid $3. $3 for 5 bars. Yes, I know that's a good deal. Of course it's a good deal. Would I have bid on it if it was not a... All right. The next thing I've got in here, where are you? Yep. This is coffee machine cleaner. And as you can see, this will work on a regular pot or it will work on a Keurig. I drink a lot of coffee. And yes, my coffee pot does have a setting, a cycle to clean it, but I prefer to use this. I have used New England cleaner on all my Keurigs since Keurig came out. And I had one of the first big, huge, bulky Keurigs. All right, so I have used this brand, this New England cleaner, 0 coffee oil and odor guaranteed, no harsh chemicals. All right, this is a 2-use pack. I'll open it up and show you. In case any of you guys have never seen these, this is the brand you want to get if you ever do. You know, you can get the Keurig to clean the Keurig. You don't need to do that. You can use white vinegar. I don't like to do that because it leaves a taste. But this is what it looks like. I know it looks like Windex, but it's not Windex. Who said that? I actually heard that in my head. Somebody said, "You're putting Windex." No, you use half of this each time you clean. So this will do 2 rounds with cleaning. It does give you the instructions in case you've never done it before. It tells you exactly how to do it, how much water needs to be in your machine, everything. So there's no guessing. They make it really, really easy for you. This product does not leave any kind of an aftertaste, and I can say that for a fact because I have been using it for years. All right. This comes from Taunton, Massachusetts. New England Stories is in Taunton, Massachusetts. So this is a U.S. product. This is the best. Trust me, I've tried so many. You want to stick with what you know, that's cool. But if you ever want to try a change to something that'll clean your pot better, this is the one you want to go with. And what did you pay for that, Connie? $4. There seems to be a theme here. You get there's like a pattern. $4 for that. All right. You've seen on Temu how they have this product that you can take a sandwich, slide it in a bag, and put it in your toaster, right? Those are called papers. They're just basic paper sandwich bags. The grills inside a toaster do not get hot enough to melt or burn a paper bag. They literally there just isn't enough wattage there. There just is not enough for that. So they're called lunch skins, and this is 50 paper sandwich bags. Now, Food safe, no wax, so there's nothing to melt or burn. Certified paper, perfect for short-term freezer storage. Moisture and grease resistant. Keeps food fresh, easy for kids to use, durable and perfect for dry food storage. Convenient for eating on the go. Warming sandwiches, write on it. And who doesn't love a little note if you write on the sandwich bag? Recyclable, freezer safe, food safe. No, you don't want to put this in your oven. I'm going to open these because I want to show you one. You don't put them in the oven. It has a little perforated section here that you can pull out. And I think it's cute because they have little sharks on them. There you go. It does have a little seal up on the top. Can you see this little strip right here? Open them up so that you can see. They'll easily hold a sandwich. Now, there'll be times, this is great, not just for sandwiches, but for snacks, right? If you want to carry some snacks with you and you don't want them in a Ziploc bag, you want something that will freestand and stay open, this will work for that. This will work because it folds down flatter, okay? This will fit in most toaster slice spaces, but it's great for a sandwich on the go. It's great for like a little, if you don't want to use a lot of plastic like the Ziploc bags, these are biodegradable. Wrap your kid's sandwich in these, wrap your own lunch sandwich in these, fold it over, pull the strip, seal it down. It keeps your sandwich protected from anything else that you might have in your lunchbox. These are great little things to have around for a lot of reasons. They're also good for food storage. So these, I call these little toaster bags, but they're little sandwich bags, snack bags, sealable, but biodegradable, right? Which is a good thing. And I got a real deal on these because I got these for $3. You say, Connie, what are you going to do with all that storage stuff? Well, I like to prepare in advance. I like to have things, and as I showed you on that, it can also go in the freezer. I like to prep things in advance, have little meals, snacks, whatever, portioned out and ready. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Those are going to be used for portioning because that means I can stack things and lay things flat. I would not put anything like a soup or noodles or anything like that in it, but anything that's of a drier nature. I'll put vegetables in there if they're strained or whatever, and I want to keep them. I could do that. All right, what's coming up next? Where are you? Oh, yeah, we still got about 5 or 6 things more of these. Covers. Now you saw the cup covers that I had gotten from Temu, and I was using those to cover cans of dog food. I showed you that, you think outside the box. They can be used for just about anything. Well, those got pretty well shot. I did run them through the washer and got them all cleaned. They're looking a little sad. So I got this set of 2. One's white, one's purple. They're the exact same size. All right. And it says inside this fits, see if I can see it. Fits 12 to 24 ounce bottles. And right in the bottom, it says BPA free. Right there in the bottom. BPA free. You see that? Okay. So they both say the same thing inside of them. 24 to 48 ounce bottles. They'll fit. And yes, this is how I keep them in the cabinet because it's easier to store them this way. You just tuck one inside the other. So I paid $3 for the 2 of these. That's a good deal, right? Okay. Moving on. Oh, I already did the pirate puffs. Let me get past that on my list here. We're getting down there. Where do you see some of the things we got? Okay. This was this was expensive, but it was worth it. This is a massive box of Quaker instant grits. Seriously. 44 individual packets of grits. I love grits. Always have. I like grits, whether it's the kind you have to cook on the stove for 20, 30 minutes, whatever the case may be, or whether it's the kind like this. Quaker has excellent grits. This is a variety pack. It has 12 original, 14 butter, 10 three cheese, and 8 cheddar cheese. Each pack is only 100 calories. So if you're on Weight Watchers, that's roughly 3 points pack. Fat is next to nothing. Either zero, the original has 0, butter has 1.5, three cheese has 1, and cheddar cheese has 1.5. Cholesterol is 0. Carbs are about average, around 20. No sugars, 0 sugars whatsoever. And of course, protein. Grits are very healthy. I couldn't eat grits initially until I had grits with cheese. And then that totally changed how I felt about grits. Now, for a lot of people, grits is a texture thing. But to me, if they're done right, they always tasted creamy, like a mashed potato that wasn't stiff, like a loose mashed potato, a softer mashed potato, or a watery mashed potato, however you want to call it. 44 of these. Now, I did price these online. I didn't get a great deal on them. However, the cheapest I could find them at Amazon or any place else was $28.99 for a 44 pack. I paid $23. So it was not a big savings, but that $5 savings got me one of these $4 items, basically, right? Kind of saved me the money so that I could spend it on something else. 44 of these. I love grits. I can eat it as a side dish. I can eat it by itself. If I want a warm snack on a cold day, it doesn't really matter. Because these are individually sealed packets, they don't really expire. 2 minutes in the microwave. That's all it takes. You see what it says? 2 minutes in the microwave. Let's see what it says. Best if used by December of 2027. Okay, doesn't mean it expires. It just says best if used by. It's still sealed as long as everything. This is not going to last until, 2 years from now? It's not going to last that long, guys. Sorry. But great deal on those. Even though I know I didn't save a ton, I did still save. All right. Let's go on to the next item. Where are you? Oh, okay. 9 bars. I swear there's more than 9 in here. Oh God, there's a lot more than 9 in here. It says there's supposed to be 9 bars in this box. They combined a couple of broken boxes and put it all into this. This is Met RX granola, peanut butter, chocolate chip bars. Now, I'm going to put the price up for what a 9-piece box would be, but I want to show you how many pieces I got in here. And look at the size of these bars. These are huge. Okay. 2, 4, 6. Oh, it is 9. Okay. It's just that they're so big, it didn't look like there could only be 9 in here. It looked like there was a lot more than 9. But okay, that's good. It's still a deal because I don't even know if I could eat a whole one of these bars. Look how huge this thing is. This is massive. These are meal replacement bars, and this is my plan. This is going to be my morning, my first meal after I've been up for 3 hours. I'm going to try to see if one of these, because these are supposed to be very, very filling. But all right, so 9 bars. MSRP is going to be up on the screen. I paid $5. I know one of these bars is at least $2.50, if not $3 if you buy them single. Got a pack of 9 for $5. Healthy snacks. That's what I keep trying to find. Healthy snacks. Okay. Still got more in here. Where are you? There we go. Ah, energy. Oh, I had 3 boxes of Cheerios, but I paid the same price for all of them. I just forgot to pull that last one out. I don't know why. All right. 2 more things in here. These are, yes, okay. It says fuel your adventure. More granola bars. These are peanut butter chocolate energy bars. Energy bars. I need energy. Things like this make great snacks for me. I hit a wall every day. It seems almost without exception. Like right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's like somebody just pulled my plug and I just have to sit down, lay down, take a nap, whatever the case. I just totally run out of energy. And that's been the way for years. It has nothing to do with my current journey. But that's been how I've been for a lot of years. I just hit that threshold in mid-afternoon. So I'm hoping these energy bars will help. The doc did recommend I get energy bars. How many are in here? It does not say. There's a lot. Let's see. We're gonna figure this out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12. There's a dozen of them in here. So there's 12 energy bars in here. One size bar. Serving size is 1 bar. Now these, because they're energy bars, these will be about 5 points if you're on Weight Watchers, because the calorie count is high on these, but sodium is really low. Protein is 13 grams. No wonder they're energy bars. So I'll try them. And if I like, I'll continue to eat them. And if I don't, eh. Okay. One more thing down at the bottom. And I got to figure out why I didn't have it marked on any of my sheets that I'm looking at, because I know there they are. Okay. Are you ready for this? This is a 3-pound, 12-ounce bag of Hershey's Kisses, milk chocolate Hershey's Kisses. 3 pounds. Oh, go ahead. Guess the price. Seriously. You ready for the MSRP on these? And these did not melt during shipping. You can see they're perfectly solid. And no, these are not for me. I might take a couple and set them aside. But overall, this package is going to go up to the front office of my community so that they can put out a little bowl. And when they have guests checking in, or people checking out, or people coming to the office for whatever reason, they have a little bowl of Hershey Kisses that they can put out. And it's a nice little thing. Do you ever stand at a counter doing something and they have the nice little candy dishes? Right? That's a nice little touch to add. So this is going to go up to the office. I will share it with them because it's so much in here, but I'll put a bunch of it in the freezer and bring the rest of it up to the office for them. Guys, you are not going to believe what I paid for this bag. Did you price it? Did you go online and price it? I got this entire bag and it's not open. Never been opened. $3. $3. OMG. You can't get a little bag of Hershey Kisses for $3, let alone 3 pounds, 12 ounces. Mighty, that's crazy. 60 ounces Kisses for $3. That's 2 cents an ounce. Gotta love it. All right. That's that box. This is the size box everything was in. This was a massive box. This is a big box. That's all the food products that I got from SuperBuys. And guys, I really think I got some incredible buys out of this stuff. Now, y'all saying, well, you're going to put all that stuff. Well, remember, I'm revamping my pantry. A lot of this stuff is going to be donated. All my snacks and granola bars, those go up on top of the refrigerator so that when I do want a snack, it's up there. It's handy. I can see what's there. And it's easy for me to grab, and it doesn't impede on my regular groceries and things that I keep inside my pantry, like my canned food, my box foods, that kind of stuff, my normal foods. So the top of my fridge is my snack compartment. Anyway, what do you think about that, huh? SuperBuys still gets a 5-star rating from me. Shipping, packing, you've seen how they wrap things. Packing, shipping, communication, the emails, the inventory lists that they send with every single box where they check off everything and then I go through and check off everything. The deals, the majority of their items will either start somewhere between $1 and $3. I pay the first $9.71 in shipping, but beyond that, I don't pay any shipping. So that's just like your initial shipping cost that usually comes off your first item, or sometimes they'll split it and they'll do like, $5 and change in your first item and then the $4 and change in the second item. So one of the keys to shopping a SuperBuys is when you're bidding, once the item is up on the bottom of the screen, it'll automatically show you what the shipping amount is, and then it'll say plus taxes. So it might say, 44 cents plus taxes or $9.71 plus taxes. Keep in mind you're always going to see a higher shipping amount on your initial bid on that particular show. Now, in some places, if it's your first bid ever, you've never bid any place on that show, in some of these shops, they will not charge you shipping on your first item, or they'll charge you a really low shipping amount because it's your first time purchase. But each show can determine how they want to handle their shipping costs. There are other places that I'm going to show you because I do have products from other places, and some of these boxes are from different shops I'm going to be presenting to you. There's one place that he doesn't charge any shipping. His prices are a little bit higher, but still amazing deals. And he will work with you. If you want something and it's not at a price that you want to pay, he'll ask you, where are you at? What are you looking to buy this at? And he will work with you if you really, really want a product. So there's a lot of shows like that. And those are the kind of shows that I try to find for you guys. I like the ones with personality, like SuperBuys. There's some others with personality that I found. There's some others that I could absolutely not recommend to you, or that I want to give you a heads up about, like Jay's Jewels. I gave you a warning about the pace and the speed of that, because that show, as much as we all must love jewelry, that particular show is for experienced bidders. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. I mentioned a few minutes ago about coming in and being a sniper. All right. And sniping an item. So you could be watching an item run. Now, a lot of the people on places like Jay's Jewels will pre-bid on an item. They'll do a custom bid. They see an item that he's showing that he's about to run. They'll go in and they'll do a custom bid, say $50, that's what they're willing to pay. Well, you don't see that, because as people bid, their bid automatically jumps up to keep winning. All right. So if the bid is $5, their bid will automatically come in at 6. Well, there might be other bidders that already have done the same thing. So you could go from $3 on an item to $20 in an item like that. Before you have a chance to swipe, when you think you're going to swipe at $7, it's already up to 30 because of those pre-bids. So places like that bid, the bid is just like so fast. It's like 5-second runs all the time. Literally, they call it sudden death because it's sudden death of your bank account if you're not careful. You have to know in advance in your head your max you're willing to pay for that. All right. If you want to go in and hit custom, you got to be really quick to use the arrows to go up to the dollar amount you want and then hit submit. Most of the time, by the time you do that, you'll lose it. So you have to be cautious. So I will always give you a heads up on the shops that I find. If there's a shop out there that you have been watching, and I know a lot of you I've come across you in the shops and you said, nope, I'm just here watching, or you've commented that I've been watching this, trying to get a feel for it. You know, you hadn't put any money in account. You're doing exactly how I had guided you to get your exposure before you start bidding. But if you come across a shop that you have been watching and you like, but you're not sure, just shoot me an email. konneeslittlecorner@gmail.com. Give me the name of the shop. It is not a site. It is a shop. The site is Whatnot. So make sure you tell me, hey, Whatnot shop, and then the name of it that you would like to shop at, and can I give you some feedback or input on this particular shop? There's a lot of places I've been that you haven't heard or seen anything about yet on Whatnot. That's what I'm talking about. So let me know. Let me help you through this like I walked you through the do's and don'ts of Temu, the little tips and tricks of Temu. These are all the little tips and tricks of Whatnot. So I will be happy to give you that information. All right. One other thing I do want to tell you about Whatnot is I've had a few items that have come in from various shops that I've made purchases from. And either I opened the box and it was something different, or it was not as described. I was given misinformation, or I had one that was damaged. You don't go back to the shop to resolve those types of things. When you want what they call a refund, because they don't take returns. You don't send anything back. So far, there's been nothing. And I had like a $40 item. That was the wrong item, and you don't have to send it back. So when you have something that you either need a replacement sent to you because it was damaged, maybe it was missing. I had one recently that I went through the box. I opened the box, went through the inventory, and I had an item that was missing. Maybe you want something resent if they still have it. If not, you'll get refunded for it. Now, if something is missing from your order, yes, reach out directly to the shop, which is what I did. I reached out to SuperBuys and say, hey, this item, this is the sale date. This was the show date. This was the item number, right? Because everything has a number on it. Like you see at top of here, it says B40, right? Everything has a number. And then what's the item? You know, Justin's Classic Peanut Butter. So the show date, the item number, and the short little description of the item. And then it was missing. So I wrote to them and I said, hey, this was missing. This was not in the box. You know, I went over everything thoroughly. It's not here. Is it floating around the warehouse someplace? Maybe the label for me the little sticky label might have fallen off, because that happens with the humidity. And they checked and they said, no, it's not floating around, but we do have extras. And they knew I had an order going out the next day. They just threw that missing item. They had an extra. They just threw it right in the box with the next order that's coming out for me. That's it. Easy peasy. No fuss, no muss. Be nice. These people are amazing. They're wonderful, and they're very accommodating. All the shows that I refer you guys to meet that criteria for good service and good reputations, right? Now, if you have an item that's broken, missing parts, maybe it's not what you described, I did get a couple of refunds for things like, hey, misinformation on this or what was in the box. Those type of things, you go to customer service. You go into Whatnot, you go to activity. All right, down in the bottom on your mobile phone app, you'll see next to where it says your account, just in from the right-hand side, it'll say activity. Go to activity, scroll down till you get to the date. Now with me, I've got to do that super spin until I get to the date of the show and the seller. And then I look for the number of the item, right? I click on that to make sure it opens up and it is exactly the number. Because sometimes it'll, in your little short description, it'll cut off the second digit of the number. So always click on it, open, make sure you've got the right number that matches what's on your inventory list, okay? Get help with this item is what you're going to click on. That will take you to where you can put in what's wrong with your item. You just, simple set of questions. You know, the item was missing, the item was broken and didn't match description, whatever. And then write a little expletive. And again, keep the emotions and the anger and the whatever out of it, guys. Keep it nice. Okay. Item in box, not as described. And I'll give you an example. The one that I had recently, I was on air per video receipt. This item was stated to be compatible with Samsung Android. Upon receiving the item and opening the box, it is not compatible. And I showed them a picture because right inside the box, it says not compatible with Samsung. But on the outside of the box, which is the only thing these presenters look at most of the time, they don't open these boxes for our sake. On the outside of the box, it simply said that it was compatible with iOS and Android. It never mentioned Samsung. Inside the box, it did. So it's not the presenter's fault, right? It's the company that made the packaging. So I took a picture of the outside of the box, and I took a picture of that little blurb thing on the inside of the box, and I attached those pictures with that short little explanation, submitted it, boom, instant refund, right back to my payment source. And I use PayPal so that there's always a tracking, and PayPal will then send it to my bank account. Didn't have to send it back. Don't have to package it. I can do whatever I want with it. So this particular item is probably either going to go in a giveaway box, or I'll, when I get to it and I show you guys, I'll let you help me decide, as I always do, whether it's going to go in the giveaway box or whether I'm going to donate it or put it up on Marketplace, whatever the case may be. But I was fully refunded for it. No hassles, no nothing. It is easier to do a refund request for damaged or incorrect or missing items. If the store can't replace the missing item, it's easier to do a refund request with Whatnot customer service than it is with Temu. And so far, without exception, I've had, I think, 6 or 7 refund requests I've done, and ranging from $3 to $44. And not one of them have I ever been asked to return the item. They don't want it back. You got to remember, these are resellers, right? What are they going to do with it? They're just going to throw it away. They can't resell it. They can't return it to Amazon. They bought it. It's theirs. It's on them. Can't do it. All right. So they don't want them back. Isn't that nice? Trying to teach you about Whatnot, guys. Lock up your wallets. Make sure you know your budget. And when you bid, keep a list. I keep this notebook handy. When I bid on something, it will automatically, it'll show me my shipping. I know what I bid for the item and then the taxes. But instantly, after you place a bid, you get an email from either Whatnot or from your payment source. Like with me, it's PayPal. PayPal automatically sends me an email, $3.24 to Whatnot. So I know if I had no shipping, that's my $3 item that I bid on. That's my 24-cent tax. That's my total. $3.24, and whatever the item was. Okay. I keep a running tally because if you don't, it will get away from you before you know it. You'll drop $100 or more. You bid on 10 items, and if you're not paying attention, you're out of your budget. I pay attention, but I'm also very selective, as you can see. Okay? All right. Let's get on to what's going on just around the corner. And we're going to keep this focused. Yes, that elephant is still in the room. I'm using the fine art of distraction for myself and you guys. Hint. I've had people try to call me. It's like, I don't answer the phone. Look and leave a message. I am just not ready to talk on that subject. Okay. I'm still too fragile. It's only been 4 days. But I'm doing the best I can. So what's going on just around the corner? Well, let's cover a little bit first. I want to show you a little bit about the gardens because you guys haven't seen anything about that for a while. So I'm going to put up some pictures. My one sole surviving sweet red pepper because of all the torrential drowning that my plants have gotten. But this guy was tough. This is big. Look at this pepper. It's starting to turn a beautiful shade of red. And probably within about a week, I'll be able to harvest it. But the plant is healthy and it's starting to produce a few more flowers. So I do hold hopes that maybe I might get another pepper or two off this one plant. Maybe, right? But it's absolutely gorgeous. The watermelons, you can see the two different types. These are the pictures of the red watermelons, and these are now the size of grapefruits. So they've gotten pretty big, as you can tell. And then this other one, this is the yellow watermelon. You can see the skin on it is a little bit different. So are the leaves on the plants. They're shaped a little bit different, but this is the yellow watermelon. This is the biggest yellow one that's growing so far. The bed is just full. Every time I go out there, it's popping out more. I've got a baby watermelon hanging over the edge, like on a trellis, that's about the size of my thumb, that was out there this morning, and it wasn't there yesterday. Yesterday it was a flower. This morning it's a watermelon. Watermelons can hang on a vine. Those vines are pretty solid, but you always want to give them some sort of support. So I just kind of like tucked it over the edge back inside the bed so that when it gets heavier, it doesn't rip off the vine and not produce. I'm telling you guys, they are growing good. Watermelons grow pretty steadily once they start to come out. So it'll probably be another 4 weeks or so before I can harvest them. But I'm looking forward to that particular harvest. So those are coming up good. Now, the mystery plants, the definitely not hostas, 95% chance hibiscus, but we still don't know. They've been in the ground for a couple of weeks. They're about this tall. They're doing great. Here's a picture. Now, again, if you guys, as this plant gets bigger, I keep taking pictures of the leaves and I keep using what apps that I have, and it's still coming up as hibiscus or AKA swamp rose, which is fine. I like hibiscus. But guys, please use your apps or use your gardening expertise, or if you have hibiscus in your backyard, compare these leaves to what you have. Let me know what you're finding out, because I'm not getting any change on my apps as to it being anything different. So for right now, it's still a mystery, possibly hibiscus plant. The caladiums, holy smokes, 5 out of 6 have sprouted. I don't know if the 6th one will or not, but that's okay. 5 out of 6 have. And look at, they're all in different stages. One of them is such a tiny twig that it almost looks like a stick, but it actually is a sprout. All right. And I'll try to zoom in as close to it as you can see. But the others are all in different stages. The leaves are absolutely gorgeous. And guess what? These are really caladiums. There's no mystery plants here. These are really caladiums. And at the rate they're growing, the side of my house is going to be gorgeous in just a couple of months. Caladiums are perennials. Once they're up, they technically don't even really die back. They will lose their leaves, but they maintain the bottom, the union, so to speak. That stays there. And all I have to do in the colder weather is take some of that mulch and cover over that. And then in the spring, they'll just push right up through the mulch. And every year they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I remember my mom's yard in New York. Now, in upstate New York, we had sub-zero temperatures, feet, not inches, but feet of snow covering these caladiums every winter. Mama never touched them. She just let them be completely feral. She never trimmed them back. She never cut them back. If the leaves were dead and brown, she would just only snip off the dead part, just to keep the plant looking good. And every spring, that plant just got bigger. And at one point, it was like this, some of them were like this massive, like 4-foot bush. So if you can imagine these leaves that big, I don't know what's going to happen here because typically in this area, it doesn't snow, but I have no problem cutting them back if I have to, putting a little mulch on them. So if any of you have ever grown caladium outside in the ground, in a subtropical temperate climate like where I am in southern Alabama, let me know. What do you do when December and January rolls around? Do you do anything for your plants? I'm curious to know because this is the first time I've cared for caladiums in the ground. I've had caladiums in a pot. Caladiums will only get as big as the pot they're in, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that. So if you want them in the house and you don't want them to get too big, put them in a pot. Because once they're root bound, that's as big as they'll ever get, but they'll still be beautiful. Outside, as far as their roots will go, that's how big they'll get. All right, so the caladiums are doing good. I didn't do any pictures of the hostas and everything else. Those are still growing beautifully. They're growing slower, but they're growing. And they look really good. They look really healthy. The dark rhododendron is healthy. It might be getting some buds. I'm not sure, which is why I didn't take a picture because I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is it's starting to get buds or if it's just new leaf growth, but it's doing great. Okay, so we'll just have to leave it at that for now. So that's the plants. Let me tell you something a little bit. Let's talk for just a second about something from Temu. I got the edge trimmer. I got the hedger, the edge trimmer from Temu. That you saw the battery opposite one. I did a little video of me edging the front yard and showed you how that worked. Okay, so it was late in coming. Each time a period of like 5 days went by, I contacted customer service and I was given a $5 credit twice and a 20% off coupon capped at $20, capped at a $20 savings, which means a $100 purchase. So, and 20% off coupons plus the two $5 credits. Okay. It was a $32 item. There's $10 back that I got in the credits. Well, the post office, the carrier, reported to Temu that the package was lost, that it was undeliverable, it was lost. Temu reported that to me. Temu said your package cannot be delivered. Per the courier, your package cannot be delivered, therefore we're refunding you. And because they had given me the $10 in credits, they didn't give me the full 32. They gave me back $27. So now I'm getting $37 back on an item that I have. So I contacted customer service and I said, this item was delivered. I have it. I can prove it. I did a video using it. And their response was, thank you for your honesty. We appreciate that. However, our policy is we have to go by the information from the courier. And the courier states that they did not and cannot deliver that item to you, that it is lost and they don't know where it is. I'm like, but I have it. She's like, I understand. I'm very clear. And she wrote back, I understand you're stating you've received and used this item and that you're telling us that you don't want nor need the refund from it. I understand. But she's like, there's nothing we can do. We have to follow our policy. I'm like, okay. Seriously, Temu has issues. But because of that enormous credit, that's how I bought the sandwich maker that you saw in the last video, because that sandwich maker was what, $23, $24? So I used that credit to get that sandwich maker, and which, by the way, I used it the very same day. I cleaned it out, washed it up really good. I used it. I made my grilled cheese with bacon sandwich, bacon and tomato, and holy cow, that thing works great. It's so easy. You plug it in, you leave the lid down, plug it in, leave it closed, give it about 2 minutes. That's all it takes to warm up. You open it up, you throw your sandwich stuff in there, you close the lid, you're good. It doesn't have a timer on it. You kind of have to go by the smell, but I knew from using one in the past that a grilled cheese, you only have to leave it in there for like 2 minutes, maybe 3. So after 2 minutes, I checked it. It was not quite browned. I closed the lid, let it go for like another minute and a half, came out perfect. And guess what I made in it yesterday? Scrambled eggs. So I can make an egg sandwich. I scrambled up 3 eggs, because these wells are not really deep on this thing. I scrambled up 3 eggs, carefully poured it over all the griddles, and I just closed the lid. Right. Now, if you're going to do that, you got to make sure your griddle is completely level where it's sitting, because if not, your liquids will tip out the front or out the back or out the sides. But it was level. And I just stood there watching it steam. And then I watched the lid, because I didn't latch the lid. I watched the lid go like this as the eggs totally puffed up and cooked. OMG. Guys, it was the quickest. It was like 2 minutes, and I had the fluffiest scrambled eggs I'd ever had. And I didn't have to break out the frying pan or break out, the butter or whatever to use the frying pan. I didn't have messy utensils, nothing. Just this one little sandwich maker. This thing is seriously going to spoil me. This is going to be one of those appliances that stays on the counter all the time. Okay. Now, let's get on to what your question was. A couple of you emailed me, and I think one of you actually put in the comments, could I talk about what kind of plants and how to grow those plants in nothing but water? So growing in water is so much simpler than people think that it actually is. I gotta move my book up here for a second, guys. Hang on. I gotta get it out of the way. Okay. So the plants that I have growing, I have 2 different kinds. On one side, I have pothos, which looks like an English ivy, but a little bit different pattern. And then on the other side, in the smaller jar, I do have English ivy. So one has like a little bit of variegated color to it, but the leaves are shaped ever so slightly different, and the vines are ever so slightly different. But first, let me tell you the types of plants or the names of some of the plants that will grow exclusively in water with no additives, no soil ever needed. A spider plant, whether it be variegated or not, a spider plant will grow 100% in water for its entire life. English ivy, pothos, wandering Jew, which is a beautiful purple. I have 1 sprig of wandering Jew, but I don't know if I got it into the water fast enough after cutting it off the mama plant. Philodendrons. Philodendrons will grow 100% in water. Snake plants, also known as mother-in-law's tongue, believe it or not, they will grow 100% in water. Lucky bamboo. Usually if you buy any lucky bamboo, it comes to you shipped inside a container of water because that's how it will grow. It's not like regular bamboo that grows in the soil and makes these giant forests. Lucky bamboo is a much smaller plant and it grows in water. Chinese evergreens, they will grow 100% in water. Monstera is a beautiful plant, but it's got huge leaves like the caladiums. Monstera is those giant green leaves that have like slits in them. You need if you're going to grow Monstera in water, make sure you use a 1-gallon jug. Nothing smaller than a 1-gallon jug because they get so big and their stalks and leaves can get so heavy that they will literally tip their container over if they're not in a heavy, well-seated container. But you always want to use glass. Either it can be tinted glass as long as it's not dark brown or dark green. It can be like I use mason jars, regular mason jars, regular glass jars. It can be a plastic jar as long as it's clean, like something your mayonnaise comes out of or something your pickles come out of. All right. It can be any kind of a glass jar, just as long as it is not a dark glass, because the sunlight needs to get through easily to the roots. So there are various other plants, like pond plants and things you would put in an aquarium or in a pond, obviously. But the ones I've listed out for you are the most common ones that will grow in water. Now, how do you do that? Okay, take a cutting from any plant you have of those, or if a friend has any of those plants, say, hey, can I have a few cuttings off your plant? When you cut, you're always going to cut at an angle. And it really doesn't matter. All right. Some people say, well, you have to cut where the little node is or just below the little node because that'll be the root. Doesn't matter. There's plenty of those nodes along the stem. Just make sure you have at least 1 or 2 of those little nodes sticking out on the stem. Cut it at an angle because that will allow the most water absorption. All right. Fill your container with tap water. Not bottled water, not distilled water, not spring water, none of that processed stuff. These plants need the minerals that is in tap water. Your tap water is better for plants than any other water there is other than rainwater. And that's why I keep a rain barrel out back, because the natural minerals that get when the water evaporates from the ground up into the clouds, and then the clouds turn around and pour it back down on us, that rainwater is full of healthy minerals that your plants absolutely love. So none of that fancy. Turn on the tap, tepid, lukewarm water, not cold, not hot. You don't want to shock the plants. And yes, you can shock a sprout. These are going to be growing at room temperature in house. So make sure you use lukewarm tap water. Okay. Do not add any additives. No aspirin. No floral growth packets. Nothing. Add zip. 0. I can't stress that enough. Do not put anything in. Straight tap water. Set your jar, whatever you're using. You saw how I have mine hanging now. I had them on the shelf, but now I have them on those nice little hangers that I got from Temu. Set them in direct sunlight. They have to get at least 8 hours a day of direct sunlight. So find the window in your house that has the most light. And that's where you want to hang these or set these on a shelf. If you have a table by a window, I have these 2 big windows behind me, which right now are closed so that the light doesn't come in and blind you guys. But when these are open, I have nice big wide windowsills that I can put things on those windowsills if I wanted to. So find the sunny spots in the house. 8 hours of direct light. And then leave the plants alone. Don't fuss with them. Don't dust them. Don't rearrange them. Just leave them alone. Never let your water container get any less than 1/3 empty. Always make sure 2/3 at the bottom is full. When you get down a third, add fresh water from the tap. Do not take the plants out, dump the water, and put all new water in. No, 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 no. That's a big mistake. The water that's already in there is holding the nutrients that the plant brought with it, right? You don't have to change the water when the water gets low. So that's another mistake that a lot of people make, that their plants won't grow in water. Just add. Just think of it like your gas tank on your car. You don't empty your gas tank and let it run out and rinse out the tank and then put more gas in. Whatever's in there, you just put more in, right? It all mixes together. That's what you want for anything that's growing in water. Now, there is 2 occasions that you will want to change the water in your container. Only 2. Okay? The first is if you see that your container is getting green or like a fungus on the inside of it. If it's getting that green, like pond scum on the inside of it, that means it's too high in certain chemicals or in certain minerals. And that is not healthy for the plant if there's too much of it in there. So when you see green, and I'm talking not a little pale green, I'm talking pond scum green. Okay, green that makes you go, ew. All right. Like there's moss growing on the inside of this thing, not just a tint. If it has just a tint of green, leave it alone. If it's seriously green and you can barely see the roots, that's when you change the water. The other time you change the water is when you look at your plant and it looks like there's fuzzies, like there's little white cotton down in the bottom. All right. When it looks like little white puffy stuff down in the water. Right. That's part of the plant rotting out. It might not be the healthiest of stems. You might have to take it out, recut it. All right. So those are the only 2 times. Green scum, white fluffies. Now, how do you change the water? Another big mistake people do is they just take the plants and they yank them out of the pot. Seriously, guys, you're going to damage all that root system that's been building up. All you do, take your jar in one hand, right? Put your hand underneath all the growth. Make sure you get around the top of the jar and circle it gently with your hand. You're not going to squeeze it in because you'll snap the stems. You're just going to support it loosely. Think of it like a gentle flower bouquet that you don't want to break. You're just going to support it. Hold the flowers steady. Hold the vine steady. Take the jar and pull the jar down. Do not pull up. And believe it or not, there's a big difference, because when you pull up on the plants, you're putting pressure on everything that's above your hand, the leaves and everything else that's up there. You don't want to do that. You want to hold it steady and expose the roots. So you might have to do, twist the jar a little bit, to get it, or do a little whatever to wiggle them out, but try not to pull up on the plant. Just hold the plant steady. Just support it. Then take the jar, set it aside. Keep your hand on this. Over the sink, you want to do this. You want to run warm water, tepid water, gently, not high pressure, gently across the roots. Tickle the roots a little bit. You're not going to pull on them and pick on them. Just tickle them a little bit. Get any little fuzzies that you see. Get those off very gently. Think of it like you're picking something out of a baby's scalp. All right. Very, very gently. Clean those off. Rinse those roots. All right. Take your jar. Dump it. Now, if you need to put this down, you're just going to lay it down gently someplace. Very, very gently. You're not going to try to spread them out, separate them, whatever the case may be. Stop fussing over these things, because every time you do that, you interrupt the growth cycle. You can damage the plant. You can damage the roots. You don't want to fuss. Do not pick at your plants. So then take your jar, take a bottle brush with just warm water, no soap, no vinegar, no cleansers, just warm water with a bottle brush. Give it a couple of good swirls until it looks nice and clear again. Make sure you rinse it out well with just water. Fill it back up to within an inch or two of the top. Again, gently scoop up your plants and guide your roots with this hand back down in through and place your vines back into your plant. Okay? It's very simple. You have to treat these things like they're eggshells. You don't want to break the root structure. You don't want to snap the roots off the vines, because that vine will start dying. If you see a vine that is dying, very carefully, okay, when you have the whole thing out, very carefully find that vine and don't yank it out from the roots. Do you ever untangle long hair like this? You put your fingers in here and you do this, and you just lightly separate. Okay, you just lightly separate with your fingers. You don't yank, you don't pull through it. You can do the same thing with these roots. You're going to very, very gently, not against the stems, but in the root mound itself, very gently just tickle those roots open a little bit so you can get to the one that's dying, and don't yank it out. Cut it. Cut it out. All right. Remove that. Set it aside. If the vine is still healthy, give it a fresh cut. Put it back in the jar. But you've got to get it off the end of it that's dying. Right? You can salvage these, but usually it's a root problem. If they're failing and not growing properly, it's a root problem. So these are easy to care for because, again, you're going to let them be feral. You're not going to fuss over them. No fuss, no muss. I put mine in the jar. Once a week, I look at the jar to see where the water level is. If I need to fill it, I just grab a cup, add more water from the kitchen sink, leave them alone, let them grow. If they get all tangled together, great, because that makes them look fuller. But you can see, because they're in the glass jar, I can see the roots. I can see what's going on. I can immediately see, oh, there's something in here that is not doing well. I'm seeing those little white fuzzies on the bottom. You got to tend to that right away, because it will contaminate the entire thing that's in that particular jar. Okay? So that's all there is to taking care of plants in water. Again, you've got that big selection. The spider plant, the English ivy, the monstera, the wandering Jew, the philodendrons, the pothos, the lucky bamboo, the Chinese evergreens, the snake plants. These are easier to care for than air ferns. Air ferns at least have to be misted every once in a while. I haven't had much luck with air ferns, but I have an enormous amount of luck growing things in just water. My next thing is to try to get my hands on some spider plants, because I love the spider, and especially a spider plant will produce the babies if it's a male plant. Believe it or not, in the spider plant world, it's the males that produce those offshoots and the babies. And I've had some beautiful full spider plants growing just in water that produced a gazillion babies. I got to get back to that. I miss having a spider plant in the house. So that's how you grow in water, guys. It's not hard. If you have any questions, comments, queries, concerns, posers, put them down in the comment, drop me an email. konneeslittlecorner@gmail.com. And I think this particular video has gone on long enough. I've got all my goodies that I have to put away, and I have to get ready for the next video. I will be pre-recording a few of these videos because I just can't live with all these boxes in the living room. I've got to get stuff out of the boxes and put away so that I can clear out some space in here. Distraction, keeping busy. Yeah. I've also got to stay off of whatnot for a while. I've I've got enough now. I've tapped out my budget when I'm just I don't want to miss the good deals. So check out SuperBuys if you haven't already. When you see Brie or Germany, just tell them Konnee. That's my username there. If you see me, please say hello. Because usually, if I'm in the chat, I'm very actively chatting, either asking for things or we're joking around with the sellers or with other people in the chat. It's just a really fun place to be. It's a fun way to shop. It's a very affordable way to shop if you're careful. You need any more information on that, or you have any more questions about it, by all means, again, email me or leave a comment. Okay? Big thumbs up for this video. Get it out into the universe where everybody can see it. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. It's a very fun place to be. I'm trying. I'm trying my best, guys. Some of you asked me, it's like, well, are you doing Temu or are you doing whatnot? You know what? I'm doing everything. Wherever I find the best deals, the best bargains, the best prices, the best customer service, I am always hunting for the best with the most affordability, because pretty much everybody I know, no matter what age you are, we don't want to spend our money willy-nilly, especially with this economy getting really bad. So you can expect to see a little bit of everything, more of what's going on just around the corner, and of course, a lot more whatnot and a whole bunch of different shops at whatnot. So remember, stay hydrated. Above all else, please stay sweet. And I will catch you in a few days with more. Bye.